The food industry is integral to Australia's economic and social prosperity. The overwhelming majority of food sold in Australia is grown and supplied by Australian farmers. Today, we have diverse foods and farming research. Australia also has a reputation internationally as a modern, safe, reliable and sustainable producer of food, with methods and food processing technologies to develop this further with safer and more efficient practices. But what is our evidence? We are able to export more than half our agricultural produce, while more than 90% of fresh food sold in supermarkets are domestically produced, consistently accounts for 20% of domestic manufacturing and service income. However, what will the food industry be in the year 2036, 19 years later? So many uncertainties cloud the future, so we introduce to you 4 different scenarios. Hourglass, a high government-funded industry that has low technological reliance. Technological Wonderland, supported by high government and technology. Or Ancient Egypt, taking a step back in time, technology at a standstill and privatization. Or Big Brother, monopolist culture with new technological advances. We introduce to you our first scenario, Hourglass. Government has taken over in the control of land and water usage to encourage sustainable practices. We've increased our free trade agreements, creating opportunities for businesses and cultural exchange. The increasing globalization allows the food industry to strengthen its advantage, outsourcing cheap labor from developing countries. With the government in control, the food industry is a highly competitive market that continues to grow and expand. Socially, there is less technological reliance and more focus on development of skills for the food industry. The rising health, lifestyle and cultural trends, along with the demand for a better life, is creating pressure on the food industry and the demand for food. Our second feature scenario is Technological Wonderland. Together with high government funding and high technology reliance, society has become a paradise, highly prone to new ideas, innovations, and certainly a better and easier lifestyle. Government funds the idea of artificial fruits to create a global demand and insists of a world of high machine automation where this allows for an effective and efficient food production industry. Food production, with the use of machines and labs, lessens the wastage of food, producing a just-in-time growth regime, allowing producers to save money. The environment, however, is taking a toll, as the combination of high-tech and high government funding lets consumers live in a world of endless choices and exceptional health. With such a strong supply of food available now and the high promotion of newly added nutrients, the aging population becomes extended. High technology reliance has led to high automation within industry, resulting in higher efficiency and effectiveness. With Australia's food production thriving in supply and inventions, the global demand of such produce is high, allowing the government to set high export tariffs. Now let me draw you down the path of scenario 3, Ancient Egypt. The food industry has changed with an increase in employment. Meet John. As exciting and prosperous as may seem, government has lessened their control within the industry, and food production companies are now ruled by privatization. With the dangerous desire to greatly maximize profits, the price of food is rising, not only affecting our global trade, but the lifestyles and disparity of Australians. Education is transforming, becoming prioritized, and the survival of society. Almost as if we're heading back in time, society has not been able to guide the food industry into a tech-savvy period. Farming instruments and processes at a standstill, dramatically slowing down production as labor can't truly compete with the efficiency and productivity of technology. The environment isn't what it once was. Mass pollution and urbanization is at an unhealthy level as arable land makes way for new human capital in the food industry. Food waste is high, and food rationing seems the only way.
Now, future scenario number 4 is Big Brother. We are at an era where companies have gained immense political power, greater than that of the government. Technology has inevitably taken over all automated processes and produces an abundance of food at a fraction of the time and costs. They're more nutritious, disease and pest resistant, and delicious. Unfortunately, one major issue has negated all the positive aspects that science has provided: greed. With international companies owning all the technology necessary for food production to meet the demands of 17 billion people, traditional local farms are virtually extinct due to their inability to combat against the adverse effects of climate change. This marks a haunting age of humanity, where the greatest threat to their existence is their greed and their literal hunger for food. Political. The harsh regulations implemented on technology by the government in response to the rising unemployment rate backfires and causes food shortages and crop diseases to decimate Australian crops. Economics. Australia's population suffers a huge reduction in disposable income due to the controlled high costs of essential foods. Social. Individuals are becoming increasingly stressed while being faced with the fear of not being able to afford enough food to sustain themselves and their family. Technological. Technology, such as cultured meats, GMOs, and lab-grown crops, has greatly decreased production costs, time, and resources. Environmental. Climate change has caused the destruction of arable land, extinction of many flora and fauna species, and the frequent natural disasters that make conventional farming impossible. Legal. The government has dropped all rules and regulations governing the food industries. Food organizations now enjoy complete legal freedom without government restrictions. Overall, each scenario highlights an aspect of technology, a force that drives change and development, and has today been rapidly emerging and becoming a major influence on society. As one of the megatrends outlined by the CSIRO, digital immersion is both an opportunity and a threat to society. As technology develops, the world becomes more globally connected as we grow closer as a whole. However, individually, there is an invisible barrier between people as technological communications become more common than physical conversations. The move to a virtual world will allow for more efficiency in access, transactions, and interactions in the food industry and will revolutionize the way we live. Another major issue demonstrated throughout is the other megatrend, great expectations. There is a massive pressure on the food industry on the quality and quantity of food supply, which contributes to the economic stability. Therefore, there is a need for further funding to keep up with the demands. The development of the food industry depends on the funding of either the government or sponsors, as demand of food rises along with the population. Increased government funding may help keep the economy stable. In the case of sponsorship, there is a risk of privatization or monopolization. All these scenarios have been created by incorporating aspects present in society today and thinking how, if the world were to fall one way or the other, how it would affect consumers. It is evident that only the future generations can determine how the world will be created, and the steps that the current and future generations take will shape the future they will have. This highlights the importance of each action in determining which scenario this world may be headed towards. Thus, choices and changes need to be made carefully.